All right, guys, it says we are live. Apologize about that. So, was out running errands, picking up my son some camouflage, and time just, time got away from us. And so, then of course, as soon as I get home, it never fails. There's got to be software updates. So let me just double check on. Okay, good. We got audio. So, all right, welcome, everybody. So, welcome to Wapiti Live Q&A. Sorry for 2 weeks ago. I actually did get hit with COVID and got knocked down, so that's why there was no stream 2 weeks ago. Just zapped every little bit of energy that I had. But we are here. So let me hold on, no, don't want to do that. Where is my live chat? Why is live chat not showing up? So, okay. So, welcome. So, for those of you that are tuning in, if you actually click on the link on a computer, it should take you over to Facebook to where you can actually comment there and can do type in comments, questions, anything you want live right there doing. Now, if you are on the computer or on a laptop, a computer or a tablet, so then you can click on the balloon icon down underneath, and it'll take you to a different screen, and then you can come back in and rejoin the video there. So, why is this not letting me change this? For some reason, it's not letting me make one quick change that I need to here. So bear with me just 1 second and see if I can get this thing to change. So, but it is not. Okay. Well, okay, so we won't go that way. All right, well, let's get rolling. So here we are. Season has started. We are right at the start of season. And this is kind of a fun time when you go out hunting because you never really know what you are going to get into. Because you have a mixture out there. You have bulls that have already rounded up cows. You have bulls that are still rounding up cows. And then you have bulls that are still kind of established in their pecking order. And then you have other bulls too that are just kind of hanging back, waiting for the younger bulls to gather up all the cows. So it's kind of cool because you never really know what you're going to get into on this. You really have a mix of what you can, what you can get into. And the cool thing is you never know from encounter to encounter. And so one of the things that you need to do is you need to really uncover and unlock, because you're going to approach each of those situations differently. It's not just, one consistent, approach or one consistent calling sequence on each of those. So the best way to do this, and the best way, and you guys, those of you that have, been part of the herd for a little bit, you heard me talk last year that I was kind of going to focus on the inviting cow routine early in the year, which the inviting cow routine is a good safe bet because one, those bulls that already have cows, they're still looking for more. And so they're going to be receptive to the inviting cow routine. Those bulls that are still out gathering cows, or they're just starting gathering cows, are definitely going to be receptive to that inviting cow routine. And so that is a very good benefit on that one. Now, of course, the bulls that are still establishing, in that establishing their pecking order fighting mode, yeah, they might kind of be interested in cows, and you can get some responses. And so this is where, starting with that inviting cow routine, which remember the inviting cow routine is lost excited, assembly mew, regathering mew. It is those cow sounds that are asking for a response from a bull and inviting a bull to respond or come to you. So, but the nice thing that you can do is once you have a bull responding, you can incorporate a little bit of raking or some light huffs, grunts, and whines just to see how that bull is going to respond. Because if he's still in that established pecking form, establishing the pecking order fighting mode, that's where introducing that bull vocalization with either raking or with huffs, grunts, and whines, you're going to know immediately based on his response, because the response that you're going to get is very aggressive. And that very aggressive is definitely going to let you know what his mindset is. So now, if the bull has cows, he may half-heartedly respond, or he could get a little bit excited. But if you find that lone bull that is searching for cows and you hit with that inviting cow routine, he is going to answer very, very excitedly. And in fact, last weekend we went up and we set up camp, and Friday and Saturday night I went out and just did a little fishing, a little night bugling right there, right at last light. And Friday night I got 3 different bulls to respond. Nothing big, just location bugle. 2 of them were location bugles. Third one kind of had a little bit of a growl at the beginning, and just kind of a short location. But then Saturday night went back out, and right from the get-go, very first sound I did, got a bull that just chuckled, and the type of chuckle that he was doing was kind of an excited chuckle, and he was basically just saying, come here. I'm right here. Come here, old man, friend, and so was kind of curious, and so just threw a couple of cow sounds his direction, and yeah, he got really excited with the chuckles, and he actually started coming into us. It just rolled off the mountain pretty quick. Ended up about 100 yards from us, and we were just kind of sitting there, just kind of chuckling and smiling and going, man, if this was season, all we'd have to do is go 125 yards his direction, get set up, and would probably call this dude right in his lap, but. It was definitely one of those things that, could tell that he was a loner. He didn't have any cows with him, and that he was, he was cruising. He was looking, and definitely with the cow sounds, the way, he chuckled excitedly, saying, come to me. And then the way that he actually covered ground, really gave me all the information that I needed right there. So that would be a bull that, I would focus heavily on the cow sounds with. Even though he did answer with the bugle, but I'm really thinking more the reason he answered with the bugle is because the night before, where I got those 2 other bulls to respond, he's kind of hanging up there, just responding to those guys, and he was probably thinking it was one of them that just kind of bugled and threw out a location bugle, because that's all I was doing, was just location bugle, seeing what was out there, what would respond, and he definitely responded. So it was fun to hear the first bugles of the year, and so, but definitely ready to get back up there this Friday and actually start chasing and start hunting. So so it's still the normal approach as far as how I'm going to move. I have a destination in mind, and I'm going to move, and I'm going to locate as I'm moving towards, that destination. Now, obviously, if something comes up, before I get to that destination, we really cut some, really fresh sign with some good tracks, or we actually get a response, then, our plan is going to alter. And I was doing a lesson last night, and that's one of the things that I was talking about is don't get so focused on your plan that you lose sight of what's going on around you. So, because what's going on around you will give you so much more information if you're just taking your time and cluing in on that. Um, and that's where a lot of times that, you do hear a response, you kind of start, working that direction and you start getting a little closer. And then all of a sudden, you hear the cows and calves. And so then, part of that equation is already solved for you because okay, this is a bull with cows. Um, and that's not to say that if you're working towards a bull that you get a response from and you don't ever hear cows, that's not to say that he doesn't have cows. But typically in the mornings when they're on their move, the cows and cows will be talking. You'll know, you'll hear it. You know whether he has cows or not. So, um, so your different approaches. So that bull that's cruising looking for cows, and you're gonna know that he is a bull by himself because he responded to your cow sounds. But when you introduce a bull sound, whether raking or just really light huffs, grunts, and whines, you either get no response or you get a very, very timid response. And so those are things that you're going to want to clue into. Now, if it's a bull that is still establishing pecking order and he still has some testosterone rolling where he's wanting to fight, he is going to answer your bull vocalizations pretty aggressively. And so you're going to know immediately that, okay, this dude's answering aggressively. I'm going to focus on the bull sounds at this time, and I know that I can get aggressive with them. So I don't have to be timid at all. Now, the fourth bull that, we were talking about this just kind of hanging out in the back, just kind of doing his things. So those are bulls a lot of times that really won't respond. And those are ones that'll come in quiet just because they're kind of curious to see, what's going on. And those are the ones a lot of times that you don't even know are there. That, you set up, you're doing a blind calling routine, and a lot of times these are ones that just come rolling in, sneaking in because you pique their curiosity enough. Those are the ones that usually catch you when you're unprepared. You're not set up, you're not ready, or if you have a 2-on-1 scenario where you have a caller out or a shooter out front and caller back behind, these are always the guys that sneak in the back door on the caller. These are those backdoor bulls that will never make a sound, and they will come from a direction that you don't even know, and they're going to come from that back door on the caller. And it happens a bunch. So in fact, Bryce and I, one of my hunting partners, were talking about that because I wasn't even going to pack my bow the first day. I was just going to call for those guys. And, Bryce basically said, he goes, I hate it when you don't pack your bow. And I was thinking about it, and I said, he's probably right because, we've had that backdoor bull come in so many times that, I'm definitely going to pack my bow. Even if I have it just strapped on that, back of the pack. And once we get to a place where we set up, then pull it off at that time. So if you guys are, hunting in a 2-on-1 scenario, definitely both pack your bows. Even though, you've designated, okay, you're shooting today, I'll call or this or that. Still pack your bow. I mean, that backdoor bull and those opportunities, especially early in the season, happen so often that, you definitely don't want to be kicking yourself because, man, I left my bow back at camp. The little voice told me I should have carried it. And I mean, you can get to where you're set up, and when you take your pack off, go ahead and take your bow off the pack and knock an arrow and have it, right there. And yeah, you can pick it up, you can put it in your hand and carry it around with you just in case, because you just never know. Early season, you get a lot of bulls coming in silent and coming in from just different directions. So, all right, so let's kind of recap real quick. You're going to find bulls with cows. The bulls with cows, you can do the inviting cow routine because he doesn't have any cows in estrus. So he can most definitely get interested in picking up another cow. The key with his point is you got to get closer because he's not going to go too far away from his cows, especially if he's a younger bull that maybe this is the first time that he's rounded up cows. He's not going to go very far away from them at all. So you're going to want to be closer to him, do inviting cow routines. But it's also interesting too on this because, when you do kind of check and you introduce a bull sound, he's either going to respond one of two ways. Either if he was answering you on the cow calls, you introduce bull sounds, he's either going to shut up and go completely quiet, and then you absolutely know what the situation is on that. Or two, he's going to kind of get a little defensive because you're a little bit too close to his cows. But you want to be cautious on this because even though he's getting aggressive, you need to match his level of aggressiveness or intensity because there's a good chance that he's a younger bull and there's a good chance that you can get too aggressive and you can actually intimidate him and push him off. So usually, guys like that, I'm going to stay more on the cow sounds. So maybe some, light raking. I'm really not going to get into a ton of vocalizations. The lone solo bull that's cruising, inviting cow routine and cow sounds with him all day long. So, because that's definitely what he's looking for. Now, again, this is the one where you're going to do that little test that, if you do a little raking, pay attention to how he responds. Now, the tricky thing on this sometimes is because they may not be really vocal this early in the year. Sometimes it's kind of tough to gauge that. So you want to be, 98% cow sounds, maybe 2% light raking. So light raking is always a safe bet when introducing bull vocalizations this time of year because it's not intimidating. And you're not getting real aggressive with the raking. You're just basically making it sound like there's a bull just rubbing his horns on the tree. Maybe he still has a little bit of velvet left that, he wants to rub off, or he's still working on getting hard horned a little bit. So, then, the bull that's still in that testosterone mode, still fighting mode, as soon as you introduce the bull sound, he's going to get ultra aggressive with you. So immediately recognize that, go, okay, this is a scenario. This is a bull that's still establishing pecking order, and I can get aggressive with him. So, but you still want to match his intensity. You don't want to go over the top of him. So, okay. All right. Not seeing any comments, not seeing any questions. So we are going to wrap it up and leave it with that. So there's just a little bit of tidbits for early season. Our next live is actually in 2 weeks, but I am actually going to be up in the hills that week. So, no, wait, hold on. I think we might actually be good. Hold that thought. So 15th, yes, I will be here. So we will broadcast live on the 15th. And actually what we will do on the 15th is I'm going to do a recap of the season so far and what I've been finding. So now, like I said, I went out Friday, Saturday. I did get bugles. I've talked to a couple of other people. They're hearing bugles too. Some pretty good vocalizations so far. At least that's here in the Idaho. Haven't really talked to anybody in neighboring states yet, so I don't know what's going on in those areas. But there definitely is some good vocalizations going on right now. So get out, take advantage of it, have fun. And as always, guys, keep calling, keep practicing. Most importantly, though, have fun. And we'll see you guys on the next Wapiti Live Q&A on the 15th. All right, guys. Hey, for you heading out, be safe, safe travels, have fun. Best of luck. Can't wait to hear the stories. See you guys later.